From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of mornings, LALATE, as the President of the United States talks about your 4 stimulus checks. The Senate Democrats and the House Democrats talk about your 4 stimulus checks. And in this 4 stimulus check update of 2021, I will be talking about your 4 stimulus checks. We'll be going over the incredible breaking news as 4 stimulus checks is front page news once again. We'll be talking about how much the Democrats want to give you and how they want to give it to you. And we'll be going over the breaking news as the president is in Europe right this moment to sign into law an ancillary part of the 4th stimulus package. It is wonderful news on his first major trip overseas. Also, we'll be going over the major economic news that broke this morning that impacts your 5th stimulus. It was shocking, and it's a number you haven't seen in over 30 years. Oh boy, it's all great news. Then the second half of this video, we go to 5th stimulus that'll raise your benefits up a lifetime, and we'll analyze that and review at the breaking details. And then we go to the thousands of dollars that you get across the board coming to you from the federal government. I'm excited for you. The toast is toasted. The butter is buttering. It's a beautiful day. Let's get to it. Let's get to all that money as 4 stimulus heats up on Mornings LALATE. Your beautiful Thursday morning is going well. I'm excited you for joining me. And how is the weather where you are? Drop in the comments if you're watching this live or if you're watching the tape later in the day. Tell me how the weather is where you are and tell me where you're tuning in from. I'm very excited for you on this big morning. Boy, we got a lot of 4 stimulus check updates. The president's talking about your stimulus checks. I'm talking about the House Democrats are talking about the Senate Democrats are talking about your 4 stimulus checks. The print media is talking about your 4 stimulus checks. The only people not talking about it, people not giving it to you, the Republicans. In this video, we'll be going over what the Democrats propose and how they propose it. Then we cut to the 5th stimulus, and we also talked about the breaking news that happened this morning. Shocking economic data you haven't seen in 30 years. Since the Great Recession. Oh boy, but it's good news. And then we got more big money for you. This is LA, the only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel, live on the air in the morning like right now, and taped in the afternoons. And boy, we got a big programming lineup today, so stay with me throughout all the broadcasts, but subscribe because you don't want to miss a single video across the board. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next stop, 1 million. Also, like this video. Every like helps. 2,000-3,000 likes. Let's do it on this video. Also, consider becoming a member. Let's cut right to that 4th stimulus with the House bill and the Senate proposal. The House bill from the Democrats proposes a monthly stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic, plus 1 year. The Senate proposal provides a stimulus check over a shorter duration. Let's look and see how different that is. When we're considering the House bill, the proposal would provide a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal, on the other hand, would provide a stimulus check between now and December. When we look at the monthly amounts, the House bill from the Democrats would give you $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. The Senate amount would be unknown from those Democrats, but word on the street is the Senate Democrats want to give you this. Oh, wow. Now that is wonderful. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. Let's go back and look at something from the House bill before you vote. If you're watching just after 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote House or Senate in the live chat. And tell me where you're watching from and how's the weather. Chop in the comments as well. The pandemic may be over for legislative purposes, some insiders believe. And if that's the case, then the Democrats' House bill would provide you a stimulus check for 1 year, 12 months, which amounts to $13,000. So how do you compare that against this over 6 months from the Senate Democrats? Okay, get ready to vote House or Senate right now in the live chat. House or Senate, which one do you like? All right, let's go over the incredible details breaking this morning. First, who gets the fourth stimulus checks? The Democrats propose you do. If you got a third stimulus check, the Democrats want you to get a fourth stimulus check. They want you to have a stimulus check if you make less than $75,000. The Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check if you're a married couple, household, a married couple, $150,000 or less. You get two of them, double the amount. If you're a household of four, you get this fourth stimulus checks as well, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, the Democrats want to give you a stimulus check, fourth stimulus check as well. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and there you go. The fourth stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check would not come in waves, it's not waivable. So don't wave at it. High check. No, it doesn't wave back. The Democrats represent that the final vote would be by July 4th. They've only made that representation over a half a dozen times. That means that they represent the fourth stimulus check would start in the month of July for the month of July, in the month of August for the month of August. And there you go. That is the start of your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today in this video. But I got two more updates coming up in this video with the breaking news just this morning. The breaking news yesterday, the president's talking about your stimulus check. The Democrats are. Everyone's aligned. No one's off kilter. I'm not tipping over, but not just yet. It's a long day. Maybe I'll tip over later. But first, let's get a preview of the second half of this video, which is fifth stimulus. And fifth stimulus is wonderful. But fifth stimulus is getting an extra kick in the leg today because of economic data, which I'm going to go over with you in just a second. Fifth stimulus will raise your benefits up a lifetime and apply a new benchmark. And your benefits will see the highest possible number ever if the economic data we saw this morning is true. OMG. Yeah, so you need to stay to the end of this video because that's about to hit in just a second. But now let's turn to some really exciting money because there is thousands of dollars of money for you to get, and I want you to get it. If you're new to this channel, what I do here is I get people money. I don't report news. I don't track checks. I don't tolerate questions like, what day of the week are they going to vote on my check? When am I getting a check? Because guess what? It's just a check. But when we talk about this money, it's thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. Because when third stimulus was passed, I said, you can get a $1,400 stimulus check, but you're also going to be eligible for $5,000 to $15,000 to $20,000. And now is your opportunity to get that money. Get a pen and paper ready, or a Crayola crown, because I'm wearing blue Crayola today. And get ready to write down where to get that money from. You can reach out to a series of different locations. They have different eligibility, so one may say no, reach out to the next. One viewer on Overnight LALATE said, I'm going right to City Hall right now. Thank you for the information. To which I responded, good, but if City Hall says no, go to the next ones, because I got other ones for you as well. Let's get that pen and paper, Crayola crown ready, and here we go. You're going to reach out to City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. What are you doing? You're getting rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and also homeowners utilities. The rent is a fortune. It's about $5,000 for 4 to 6 months of rent. So when you reach out to them, what are the keywords you use? Rent assistance because of COVID. Or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You don't use words they don't know, like stimulus. They don't know that word. And you don't use like Javita Light unless they're a fan. So they don't know those words. Don't use them. And there you go. $5,000 for rent from your city, county, or state. And that's just to start approximately. Congratulations to Tim and Linda who got that money. And if you're watching the show, live or taped later in the day, and you got that money, any amount of money, whether it's $100 or I've got viewers upwards of $15,000 for rent, just drop in the comments what you got, because it inspires other viewers to get that money. It inspires me and inspires them. All right, the next pot of money, I was inspired as well on Monday when one viewer jumped into Mornings LA, this show, and said she got $585 a month, which is about $6,000, $7,000 a year. And what is it? It's Snap. Lynn Glenn got it for her son, for her daughter, and for her son, her mom, and herself. Gail got it for herself. What is it? Let's go over all the details. Snap is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. Reach out to DOA. It's a fortune. How much is it? About $16,000. Wow. Why so much money for $16,000 for a family of four in Hawaii? Why so much money? Because of two executive orders, one from Trump and one from Biden, that raise your benefits 15% between now and December. So go get it. There you go. $60,000 for a family of four in Hawaii for SNAP. $5,000 for rent. We're killing it. And we're only 10 minutes of this video. Well, guess what? I got $5,000 for you right now. The federal government has identified states as overpaying you unemployment assistance over the last year and then asking you to return it due to computer error. Not your computer, their computer. Well, the federal government said, no, that was your money to keep, and has now ordered the states to return that money back to you. Yes, one viewer got $5,000 from this. So how do you get it? Automatically from your state on the account you have on file. When? Reach out to your state for respective routing times. The next pot of money is wonderful. We have COD, we have two other viewers who have jumped into Overnight's Crypto, our new hit show that runs 15 hours on this channel, to tell you they've gotten theirs and for you to stay inspired. What is it? It's money from IRS refunding the taxes you paid on that unemployment assistance. Let's go over how much you get, when you're going to get, how you can get it, and how to track it. First, how much? Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment assistance, of which you paid $5,000 as your total tax bill to IRS, and $4,000 was your taxes on that unemployment assistance. Congratulations, you're getting back $4,000. Next, how? In the case of COD, he had a direct deposit on his 2020 tax return. Went to there. But otherwise in the mail. So watch the mail coming in the month of June. Next, can you track it? Yes. So go to irs.gov, set up a username and password, do a transcript search, and 70% of the time it works. Look for the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid, and the check that's coming back to you. Is there anything better than that? It is. And it's all the incredible, wonderful breaking news on fourth stimulus check and the fourth stimulus package this morning. The breaking news right now is the President of the United States, this very moment, is overseas to sign into law in his first overseas trip as president, ancillary legislation that anchors fourth stimulus to the finish line. It shows you the importance of the event today. Also breaking news is that this is the current status for fourth stimulus. First, we have confirmation in the last 24 hours that the House subcommittee is currently marking up the bill, meaning writing the legislation. Wow. Second, we have confirmation that all Democratic senators, including Sinema and Manchin, are on board and are ready to pass fourth stimulus. Number three, we are also on confirmation that the fourth stimulus is currently in the reconciliation heading to the finish line. And additionally, fifth, we have confirmation from the White House that they like stimulus checks. We have confirmation from the House Democrats they want stimulus checks. And we have confirmation from the Senate Democrats they want stimulus checks. And we have coverage of fourth stimulus checks, not just here, not just from the White House, not just from Congress, but in broadcast media as well. The only people not talking about your stimulus checks are the GOP because they're not giving it to you. Which brings me now to how we got here. The Friday before Memorial Day weekend, Leader Schumer confirmed not one but three of the breaking details of this channel. Number one, the reconciliation process had already begun. Number two, the reconciliation process will end by July 4th. Series of 9 voting steps come before that. I'll go over those in a second. Next, number three, that the reconciliation process will not be held up because of bipartisan potential negotiations. Those ended a few days ago, may still heat up, but they have nothing to do with the reconciliation process, which is going to the finish line. Now, what's important to know is how we got to that point. And it started with Jalapal. When Jalapal wrote Schumer a letter saying, call the vote. Now, what's important is not so much Jalapal's letter, but that 12 House Democrats co-signed it. And who are they? They are among the 100-plus House Democrats who, a week earlier, wrote the president a letter saying, we're putting fourth stimulus checks monthly into the fourth stimulus package. Oh my goodness. Does it get better than that? It does. When a week later, 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter themselves directly and said, we will be working with you to put monthly stimulus checks under the fourth stimulus package in there. That's a euphemism because they are the legislators who actually write the fourth stimulus checks. Who are they? They are on the subcommittee who wrote the first stimulus check and sent it to you, wrote the second stimulus check and sent it to you, wrote the third stimulus check and sent it to you, and are now telling the president they're writing the fourth stimulus check and sent it to you. Breaking news this morning is that this letter has now been asked of the president. He says, I like it. I'm fine with it. And also breaking news you're hearing the first time on Morning to LA is that the letter also says they're putting fifth stimulus checks into the fifth stimulus package as well. Oh my goodness. So that brings us to why the president's overseas. And that's why you stay with me for really in-depth reporting, even when it's complicated. I had said that there was an event on a Tuesday a few weeks ago that was complicated and that I had to always slow it down for you because it's complicated. Let me do that right now because that's why he's overseas. The fourth stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate. But as soon as the president proposed it, he told the American people he was concerned that by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate, U.S. corporations may leave our soils and move operations overseas, let's say to France. So to solve the solution, the president said, I will try to get the global minimum corporate tax rate higher so businesses won't leave, it won't save them money. Then I told you on a recent Tuesday ago, he had reached out to the G7 leaders of global countries around the globe, that's the 7 largest economic countries, to get them to tentatively agree to a higher global minimum corporate tax rate, what I just discussed, 15%, and that they had tentatively agreed to it. Then it got better when that Tuesday the president told his insiders that after fourth stimulus is put into law in July, he would reach out to those global leaders and get them to sign on the dotted line. And if they did, then he would drop the U.S. corporate tax rate because we would be a little bit too high to be competitive, closer to what it is right now. That is wonderful news. So how did it get more wonderful? It got more wonderful last Friday. Last Friday, in a buried news clipping article, I said to you, the president's supposed to talk to the G7 countries on Saturday morning. I said, I don't know what about, but tune into Morning to LA this Saturday morning live on air because I will tell you when I find out what it is. And I was shocked. The president, not after fourth stimulus, but now, today, got an agreement with the G7 countries to agree to the global minimum corporate tax rate of 15% before fourth stimulus and to sign it into law in person today in Europe before fourth stimulus to anchor fourth stimulus to the finish line. Oh my goodness. Yes, this is shocking. No one saw it coming, and it is brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. So there you go, going into the second of my 3-part updates about fourth stimulus in this video. The fourth stimulus process is already underway. It's currently in reconciliation. The Senate Democrats, the House Democrats, and the President all have discussed stimulus checks. All congressional Democrats want it in there. They're going to pass the fourth stimulus. And the president's overseas to sign into law an ancillary legislation that anchors fourth stimulus over the finish line. What can be better than this? Stay with me. It gets better in the second half of this video after the commercial break. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. If you need help with rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more, reach out to the volunteers. They embody the spirit of this channel. Viewers helping viewers. We're not tracking checks here. We are cashing checks. Thousands of dollars is more your money. $5, $10, $15, $20,000 is your money. Far more than any stimulus check, and viewers are killing it. It's your turn to kill it as well. Reach out to the volunteers by opening the description to this video. Look for an emoji of a house. Then click on the link to go to news.lalate.com/community. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent, utilities, internet, and similar. And I'll be back in 60 seconds with more exciting details about fourth stimulus, about fifth stimulus, the breaking news this morning about an economic number we've never seen in 30 years, and why it's shocking. A new revelation about the meme stocks, and you're going to hear it for the first time on this broadcast. Oh boy. And a personal reflection about what's anticipated next for fourth stimulus. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Mornings LALATE with shocking economic data that was released just minutes ago. This morning, you are going to have your jaw drop. How are you? It's Mornings LALATE. Subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next stop, 1 million. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Also, like this video. I don't want you to miss a single video across the board. Hit that like button and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is Noontime LALATE. I don't know if there'll be a morning's crypto show. There may be a live stream of crypto, but I don't know if there'll be a morning's crypto show this morning. And with that, let's get right into fifth stimulus. And boy, fifth stimulus, I'm first going to go over the details of it, and then I'm going to go over the economic breaking news. But first, here's something you're going to hear for the first time on Mornings LALATE about fifth stimulus. The president has surprised everyone by announcing he's dedicating $1 billion to the benefits program, not money for you, but money to the administration so that the systems, the administration, the computers, the personnel can get money out to you quicker, faster, more diligently than in the past. If you were with me in the spring, you saw that stimulus checks for people on benefits came later for some people. That's going to end. That's going to stop. That's why he's dedicated in his budget bill, which is not a bill that I'm covering on this channel. It's a separate bill. $1 billion for the benefits program to ensure that your benefits get to you on time, fast. Remember, 4 stimulus checks go to people on benefits. 5th stimulus also goes to people on benefits. And let's get to 5th stimulus right now. They're going to raise your benefits up under 5th stimulus, and then they will remove the asset limits. They'll add an inflationary benchmark. They'll remove the income exclusion and then remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over what that means first, the calculation, and then I'm going to go over the economic data. First, they're going to raise your benefits up. Who's you? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, or multiple benefits, raise it up one time only. Then they're going to apply a new benchmark. Your current benchmark is COLA. They're getting rid of COLA. It's not going to be CPIE. That's what Elizabeth Warren proposed. Doesn't pay a lot. Not going to be that either. It's going to be inflation. Now, the inflation number is expected to be the highest number of a generation later this year. That's wonderful for you because when your benefits are applied a benchmark every December for the next year, you either stay flat or you step up. You never go down. Let's go over an example. Let's say the inflation rate is 6% in December. So they'll first raise up your benefits that one time under fifth stimulus. Then they will raise you, they'll apply the benchmark. And let's say the benchmark is 6%. Then they'll raise you up 6%. But not just for next year. Lifetime. Because once you step up, you never step down. So if the year after that the inflation rate is 0, you're still at plus 6%. If the inflation rate the year after that is 1%, then you're at plus 6 plus 1%. More about that inflation rate in a second because of the breaking news. But now let's turn to the other items of the stimulus. They're going to remove the asset cap, so you'll be able to have more than $3,000 on hand. Good time, just in time to get those stimulus checks in your hand. They're going to remove the income exclusion, which prevents you from staying on benefits and also getting income. And then finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. It's horrible. It penalizes you from being married and prevents you from getting married because of fear of losing benefits. 2 viewers of this channel, who I think are on the live chat right now, Rob and Sandy, are very excited about the marriage penalty go away. Love is going to win when the marriage penalty goes away. You'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and no longer fear loss of benefits. And that is fifth stimulus this morning. Now, there's a lot of other things in fifth stimulus fourth stimulus, and third stimulus. That's money for you, thousands of dollars. How do you find out what they are? By becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and the pinned comment. Every day I deliver to members of this channel a breakdown of what's in the third stimulus law and in the fourth stimulus bill and the fifth stimulus proposal. It's important for you to know because a lot of this is application based. For example, fifth stimulus has money for single individuals, money for seniors, money for hazard pay. So it's important for you to know what's in fifth stimulus. Consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and the pinned comment. Now, let's go over that economic data that came out this morning, and there was two economic datas. One was the real shocker, and let's understand how it's important for this video. First, we had the CPI number released this morning, the Consumer Price Index number. What is the number for? The number tracks the rise of prices for food, energy, grocery, housing, and similar items like autos, month to month and year to year. Pretty easy. It tracks the prices of all those items. What did the number show you? The number for the month of May, which was released this morning, showed the highest yearly growth in 30 years. And we haven't seen a growth number like that in 30 years since 2008, which was the year in which we entered the worst recession since the Great Depression. Now, hold up. That's not bad news. It's great news for fifth stimulus. It sounds like scary news, but let me explain to you why. It basically says the inflation rate is a lot higher than people are anticipating. The number was so astronomically high that it means that the inflation rate, when they apply your benchmark for fifth stimulus this fall, may be closer to what Jeremy Siegel was talking about of 20% inflation, maybe far in excess of 6%, which was what I used in this example. What's important and critical and wonderful news for you for fifth stimulus is that this inflation rate no one believes is going to be around more than a few months. It's going to get very high and then settle back down to a normal number. They call that temporary, or the word they use, transitory, meaning the inflation rate will jump up really high, transitory, in a transition, and then settle back down to something normal, like 4%. What you want to hope for as a benefits recipient is that when the number is at its highest point is in December, when they apply your benefits, because that would be the lifetime change of your benefits. If after December rolls around and we go into February, it can drop down the inflation rate to 2% or 1% because you've already stepped up with this enormous number. Here's an example of how high this number is currently tracking. Used car sales went up 30% year to date, the highest growth since 2009. Oh my goodness. All right, so that's a fifth stimulus number. It's clearly a number that impacts fifth stimulus. Does it impact fourth stimulus? No. Do we have a number that does impact fourth stimulus? Yes. The new jobless claims number was released this morning. It's Thursday morning. You know that. And what did the new jobless numbers show? Not much improvement. Okay, that means we need stimulus checks, obviously. We knew that going into the pandemic, the number of new jobless claims per week was 250. You've heard me say that 45 weeks on this channel. I think it is 46 weeks. So what was the number? It was still 376. So we're still above pre-pandemic levels. We need stimulus checks. People are still unemployed. Easy breezy. Easy analysis. And then the continuing jobless claims, it showed that continuing jobless claims is still 3.5 million people still unemployed. Need stimulus checks. Very easy. There we go. So that is your economic data this morning. Now, in this extended broadcast of Mornings LA, there's three other things I want to go over. First, calling the vote under fourth stimulus, then my personal message about fourth stimulus. But first, I want to tell you something about the meme stocks. The meme stocks, there was a major interview yesterday from the SEC chairman about the meme stocks. His department is the one that regulates the activity of buying and selling meme stocks on the New York, on U.S. Stock exchanges. Here is my personal opinion based upon his statements and based upon other analysts' statements today, that they think at this point there may be, but they're not sure, certain illegal influences getting into chat rooms and trying to get people to hype up certain mem stocks. And these people who are trying to do it are people taking massive positions for their own financial gain. That is not appropriate. That is not allowed under the law. It's an old pyramid type scheme. And it's just being done with a new technology, chat rooms and social media. And this, my personal opinion, is that the mem stocks are not investment ideas. They are not, you should not see them as investment opportunities. You should see it as potentially imploding. Because all indication is this is going to be a massive regulated event occurring in the near immediate future. And my personal opinion of it is it's going to go down very badly in the very end. It's something criminally is going to happen in the very end. So be very, very careful thinking that as an investment opportunity. All right, now let's cut back to forced stimulus and understanding the vote and understanding where we are and my personal message about that. Calling the vote is a 9-step process, 9 steps of voting required by the Constitution. The first half are procedural, second half are substantive. Let's get to them. Step 1, the House subcommittee votes on the procedural bill. Step 2, the House floor votes on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. Step 5, the President signs the procedural bill. The tow truck has passed over the finish line. Yes, time to go back and get the tow hitch, the substantive bill. Step 6, the House subcommittee writes the substantive bill and then calls it for vote. Well, early in this broadcast, you heard that the House subcommittees are already marking up the bill. They're doing that. They can put stimulus checks in there at that point, or they can leave it out. Step 7, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. That's step 6, sorry. Step 7 and 8, the Senate, during a 2-day vote-a-rama, introduces amendments to whatever they get from the House. So if they got a bill from the House that has no stimulus checks in it, the senators can modify it. If they got a bill that has stimulus checks in it, they can leave it alone, or they can grow the stimulus checks. And step 9, the president signs into law the final bill. All right, and finally, my message about forced stimulus. It's important to understand where we are right now. Forced stimulus is currently in the subcommittees, currently being marked up. Forced stimulus will finish by July 4th. Forced stimulus has all the Democrats aligned, including Manchin and Sinema. Forced stimulus will not involve any Republican votes. Forced stimulus will get amended when it gets to the Senate level. What's important for you to know is that every morning when I go on social media, before I go on camera, I look and see how many tweets there were from overnight, how many tweets I was tagged on. And while a lot of viewers are newer viewers to this channel that weren't around in 2020, I'm not seeing a lot of tweets with hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. I'm not seeing a lot of tweets, but I am seeing a lot of people saying, I really hope, I really wish, I'm hoping, I'm praying, I'm crossing my fingers. No, you can't be crossing your fingers. You need to be using the fingers and tweeting, tagging, calling, writing your elected officials. Because ultimately, you don't have to share or tweet this video specifically with hashtag MSC or hashtag Purple Power, but you have to do something more than just assume. Elected officials have had laws that never sent out money, have had bills that never went to a vote, have had proposals that never went to bills, and have had memos that never went to proposals. So you can't assume that anything's happening, that anything is a finality. You have to push. And now is the opportunity to push when they're clearly marking up the bills. So go on social media and hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. Keep the pushing going on. And finally, it's very important to know where we are. Everyone's talking about your forced stimulus checks, but just because they're talking about it doesn't mean we get from point A to point C. You have to take the push. The president likes it. The Democrats want to give it to you, both in the House and Senate. I'm going to cover it. I'm staying on top of the discussion, and you are as well. But with that, make the push, Purple Power. Don't sit back and do nothing. And with that, thank you for joining me on Big Mornings LALATE. I'm next back with you at least for noontime LALATE, if not before that with Mornings Crypto. So subscribe, 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.